Hey there, Chad here for the AI Content Dojo, and this video is completely off the cuff. I have nothing on my content schedule for today, but I felt like I needed to make a video. And so I'm going to put myself in the situation as if I just, I'm drawing a blank. I've got writer's block. I want to write something, I want to create something, but I just don't know what. And I have a niche, or a niche. I write about writing about or writing with AI, right? That's what the AI Content Dojo is. I also have the Homeworkly, I guess, side project, slow burning. That's kind of my case study for everything, or should be going forward. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, what am I going to write about? So I'm just going to say, okay, Homeworkly, right? This is how I spell it. It's an acronym of sorts, basically homework without the vowels, with an ly on the end. .com. It's a really ugly little site right now. It's I guess I could show you. It's like a generic hi there. This is basically a fresh install of WordPress with a Generate Press theme applied to it, and me changing that so that there's something there to look at that's not totally lame, I guess. So as you can tell, there's not much to it. So I need content. So okay, let's use Homeworkly. But what am I going to write about? Maybe I want to answer some questions for people or something, But what are people asking? So let's see if we can get Shortly to give us some questions that are worth answering. Some things that maybe real people are actually interested in as far as it comes with home, working from home. So give me some questions about working from home. All right, so I'm dictating, and I'm going to do Shift Command Enter to let this run. And Shortly should give me some decent questions. It's pretty good at getting questions. How do you work from home full time? Is it possible to work from home part time? Yes, of course. What are the pros and cons about working from home? Let's just go with this one. It should be relatively easy for the AI to help out with this, right? So we'll just make that the title. And I'm going to do write in the article brief area, write an article about what are the pros and cons from working from home. I'll add to that later if I do actually turn this into a real long form article. And now let's go ahead and remove this because I don't need this anymore. Let's just kind of be lazy with this. Let's see how much we can get the AI to write this for me. So this is a question. So I should be able to ask Shortly to answer it for me. Answer. Since I already have this I can just paste this in. So instead of dictating it all, I can just do this. Let's see what the AI comes up with as far as answers to this. All right. It has some advantages, and the downside is that there'll be no one-on-one interaction with coworkers. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's see if maybe we split this. Let's call this advantages, and we'll call this downsides. Downsides, right? Okay, so now I have a couple of sections to my article. Let's see if we can give me an outline for advantages of working from home. Let's see if we can get the AI to give us something more to write about. I don't know if this is going to work. All right. Oh, that's amazing. Look at that. All right. Now I've got a little section that has some additional things that I need to fill in more content about. All right, now let's see if we can get the same thing down here. Give me an outline of the downsides of working from home. All right, run it. Look at that. That is fantastic. All right, so I think you can kind of tell where this is going now. We've got some good sections, little subsections, I guess. These could actually be H3s, right? So let's just assume that we did something like this, right? Let's do some markdown. It doesn't actually change anything. We'll say that this is a 2. We'll make this advantages of working from home, right? So it's a nice actual headline. And these would all be H3s. And we go down here, we got another H2, downsides of working from home, right? And then we're going to turn this into sections for our article. We'll get these in there. Let's just cheat a little bit. Got a few more. Okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind is those hashtags are going to cause a little bit of a problem with the AI because it's going to see them and it's going to try and use them as a pattern. So I might end up having to remove them here and there. What I ultimately am looking for, though, is leaving them in there for my article, because inside of WordPress, when you copy this, WordPress is going to automatically turn those things into H3s when you paste them into the new Gutenberg editor inside of WordPress. So it's nice to have. Same thing if you're doing a list is asterisks in Markdown. That'd be a bullet list. And then a numbered list is just like 1, 2, 3, like that. When you paste that into WordPress, that will turn into a numbered list or a bulleted list if you use the asterisks. So, okay, now flexibility. I'm guessing flexibility in something, flexibility in schedule, but let's see if we can turn it into a question and let the AI answer it. Give me an answer for how to be flexible when working from home. All right, let's run that. And I'm not going to bore you with me sitting here creating an entire article, but I'm just trying to show you a little bit of the power of what you can. Oh, wow. It's actually kind of smart. It has some things in there like take off time. That's a very good. Take off time during the day to do things like groceries. That's flexibility. So yeah, that's really good. I like that a lot. So as you can see, you would basically kind of just go through, keep on adding. I haven't even done any of the dance. What I mean by the dance is you're supposed to kind of write a little and then let the AI take over. I always switch this to a little too, by the way. And then let the AI sort of finish your thoughts. Let's see if we can have an example of that. Take time off during the day to do things like grocery shopping, go for a walk, or play with your children. It's important to spend some quality. Now, what do you think is going to be the word that comes next? In a sentence like this, let's see if the AI picks up on what I'm thinking. Yes, see, time with the family and friends. Now it's picking up on that pattern. It's actually adding more things that are flexible. Like you can set your own hours, work at your own pace. You go at a time that's right for you. These are all amazing things that are just awesome about working from home and are about flexibility when working from home. And all these points are perfect. And just go through them, add your own voice, add your own tone to it, edit, kind of flip the words around. And when you get done with writing your whole article, I think this is probably maybe a couple hundred words or something, 250 words. As you can see, I'm just getting started. I'm 250 words into this. I would probably end up with, if I actually filled in all these, I'd probably be around 2,000 words. Well, maybe about 1,500 words because I'd probably condense it pretty well. And word count isn't the be all end all, of course. You don't want to focus on word count, but I'm just roughly saying that it's going to be a pretty robust article. And, I think it's showcasing the sort of the strength of Shortly. that you can just go through and get all this stuff. I sat here at the beginning of this video with no idea what I was going to write about, really. I just said, hey, I've got a little bit of free time. I have a blog. I need to add some content to it. It's not my regular writing day, but let's get something. And I've been able to, here in just a few minutes talking with you, flesh out what will become a really thorough article. And I've been talking to the Shortly guys, and I know that there's some stuff coming. This would be better when the new stuff arrives, because there's some things coming that are around sort of the long form capabilities. Even though Shortly is already amazing at long form content, like you see, there are some things that can kind of help kickstart it more, kind of help you out, help you make a little bit more sense of it as you go through. And this is already showcasing the strength of this program. And I hope that you find it interesting. And if you do, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Help me grow. Help me help others discover this tool and make the most of their writing experiences, especially when they're trying to use AI. I know one of the weaknesses of Shortly is that you jump in and you're greeted with this blank canvas, and there's really nothing there to help you except for down in the lower right hand corner there's this little thing you click and it shows you what some of the commands are. Which these are all the commands. You're not missing anything. There's literally just these 4 commands. But this instruct command right here is like AI voodoo powers. This is the thing that makes Shortly just incredible. So behind the scenes, Shortly has its own little magical brain that figures out what you're asking for and makes sure that the GPT-3 AI gives you back, at least relatively closely what you're expecting, or better, and surprises you. That's one of the other really cool things about this. But like I said, a weakness is that you don't know what is here, right? It's this blank canvas and you're just going to start writing. And behind the scenes, kind of just under the surface is that AI. And obviously there's a big write for me button right here on the lower left, that when are you supposed to use it? I'll let you in on the tip. I've already said it once, the dance. The dance is the key. When you're writing, like, you just sort of start your sentence, you get to the point where you kind of feel like you know where the sentence would go, and then just click write for me instead. Instead of you finishing that sentence, let the AI finish it. It's going to pick up on what you wanted, and it's probably going to use a lot of the words you might have even had in your mind when you, like you saw earlier, when I was up here. Let's see. Where was I? Spend some quality time, right? I stopped right here at quality. And it went with time with family and friends. That's what I wanted. That's what I would have typed myself anyways. But then it also went off and gave me some serendipity, which is some lucky bonus material, basically. This and this came in also. Actually, I think use your lunch break to accomplish tasks and stuff came in too. But, it extra came in. And they weren't just bloated, no good extras. Like, these are actually relevant to the flexibility little subsection that I'm in. And it gave me more. And I can just keep adding, keep going, and just I can turn out an incredible article for my readers. And that's another point I want to make, is when you're writing these things, you're going to kind of sometimes fall into awe with what it's capable of. And you feel like you could keep going, you could keep adding more, but you always got to remember that you're writing for somebody who's going to read this. You don't need to necessarily have more. In an article like this where I'm talking about pros and cons, maybe there's a certain amount of depth I need to go into. It depends on what you're writing, of course. But there's a certain point where your article is done, right? Like, the reason that reader has searched Google for something and has arrived at your article, there's a certain point where the content that you have written perfectly answers it. Maybe you could refine it and tune it to be better or a more pointed way of answering their intent, the reason that they are there. But almost always it's not adding more content just because. which these AI tools will easily allow you to do. But you need to learn a little bit of self-control and just create incredible articles quickly using these tools. And over time, one of the great things about Shortly is you'll get it. You'll start getting to the point where you can just crank out content pretty quick. And it's one of the other really cool things about Shortly though is you start to discover like kind of like these little happy accidents, right? Like you do something, maybe you ask for something in a way that you're just kind of like, well, let me just see what happens. And then when it comes back with something that totally like it not only surprises you but it impresses you, you're just like you can keep using that in other places, in other writings, and other articles and stuff. And you know, take note of those little happy accidents so that you can use them in the future too. So I just want to leave you with that and call this video done. If you're not in the AI Content Dojo on Facebook, in our Facebook group, just go to Facebook and do a search for AI Content Dojo and join us. We're a bunch of ninjas just talking about AI content, you know, mostly around Shortly right now. It's not always going to be that way. I'm not focused purely on Shortly simply because of, you know, it's like my favorite or something. I mean, it is right now. And there's going to be other tools. I like Phrase, Grammarly. There's going to be more that come out someday. I'll be testing them all. And, you know, we'll talk about it inside that Facebook group. So please join there too. And again, leave a comment. That's what really helps grow these videos. And I really appreciate it. And thank you for, you know, spending your time to hang out with me and talk about writing with AI. Until next time, take care.